the URC ended spectacularly, and there were a couple of very close calls, and all of this really threw a spanner in the works for a lot of the planning for the international window. But what will the Springboks actually do when it comes to the Wales test? Because that one falls outside the normal window. Who will be playing? Who won't be playing? How will they approach Ireland after that? Let's have a look at a few of those issues. I feel bad for the Lions not making that 8th spot in the playoffs for the URC. But on the other hand, it actually gives Rassie and his team a wonderful opportunity to test out new players. It's bad news for the Lions, but it's good news for the Springboks, because something that we might very possibly see is the return of Malcolm Marx, just to have a run out after his horrible injury that he sustained during the World Cup last year. The makeup of the team will probably be a good mix of experience versus new talent that will just help to grow the game immensely and put us in a very healthy position as South Africans heading into the next World Cup. The team that you probably will be seeing playing against Wales is likely not to be the same one that you'll see playing against Ireland a few weeks later. That is going to be a whole different thing, and they, I believe, will be going for a lot more experience than what we probably do for the Wales test and the Portugal test. From both the Sharks and the Lions, there are a couple of very exciting players that we would love to see. But I also hope that a couple of players from the Pumas and the Cheetahs teams that have been performing brilliantly over the past few years also gets thrown into the mix. From the Lions squad, the player that I would like to see most in a Springbok jersey is Sandile Nohamba. He just fits that mold of the small, ridiculously talented players that we've seen from South Africa over the past few years in such a great way, and there's no arguing his talents. He's kind of a mix of the molds that we saw from Braden Paulser and Brent Russell, Kurtley Arendse and Cheslin Colby more recently, and there's no reason why he can't make the step up onto the international stage. He has proven really clutch when it came to the difficult situations for Lions, and his kicking and his attacking play has been immense, and he's never stood back on defense either. So however, not the only Lions player that I would love to see in the mix. I would love to see JC Pistorius get in there as well. He plays a very similar game to Kwagga Smith, who also learned his trade at the Lions, and he's been immense in the past couple of weeks for the Lions team. The two wingers for the Lions as well wouldn't be a bad addition either. If we see Rabs Makwana and Edwin van der Merwe in their 11 and 14 jerseys respectively, I think they would do South Africa proud, and they would definitely be a great way to just get these players to make that step up and become part of the bigger Springbok squad overall. On the Shark side, there are a few players that I would like to see apart from the more seasoned Springboks. I would really like to see the loose forwards taking the step up as well, especially Pepsi Buthelezi and then Vincent Tsuka. They've been on a whole different level throughout the URC and in the European games in general. The ideal combination that I'd love to see is that combination of JC Pistorius and the two gentlemen from the Sharks, which would be a wonderful combination. There would, however, be a good fight for the number 10 jersey, because Sia Masuku was also brilliant for the Sharks in so many facets of the game. What would be a very interesting one to see is to see Sandile Nohamba actually starting to take up a role similar to what Willie Leroux did over the past couple of years, where he has the ability to actually play in a couple of positions. I don't say he shouldn't be a starter, but he'll have that dual purpose where I think he would be equally as impressive at 15 and 9 as he is currently at 10. So a combination of Masuku and Nohamba, and then some moving around of Nohamba through as the games progress would be good to see. Overall though, I think there's a huge opportunity for the South Africans to really bleed some new talent ahead of the massive test against Ireland that's coming up, and then followed by the Rugby Championships. So between the lot, there's some interesting international rugby to look forward to.